Hey, it's Bill Tenney Britton with the Effective Church Group, and this is Catalytic Church Growth Tips for Small Membership Churches, just doing live, doing the thing. Hey, glad you're here, and I want to talk a little bit today about your fall momentum. Listen, you don't want to lose your fall momentum. Now, that makes a presumption that you've had some momentum in your fall, your autumn. You've had some new people coming. You've had, a wave or maybe a ripple, I hope a wave of new folks coming, and you started with some new events in your church. You launched your fall stuff, and you want to build on that. And here's the deal: is you don't want to lose that momentum. But it's really easy. Here we are at the end of October, and things begin to I don't say wind down, but we can really lose our fall momentum really easily. And so today I want to talk specifically about how you can get that momentum back, how you can maintain that momentum. Because listen, folks, if you are got good things going in your church, it's really easy for that momentum to just sort of wear out, and you end up with, well, what you end up with, which is status quo, not moving forward. We've lost the forward momentum. And so we want to do something about that. So I want to talk about three things today that will help you to gain that momentum or maintain that momentum. And if you haven't got momentum yet, then I'm going to talk at the end of this for just a few moments about the Quick Start program and how that can help you to get the momentum. And of course, if you have momentum, how it will maintain it. But folks, you got to get something going right off the bat. So let's talk about the what it takes to maintain momentum in this world today. So I've got three tips for you to help you to maintain your momentum. Ministry momentum. There's a lot of those M's. Okay, anyway, here's the first one is, listen, when you got ready to launch whatever it is you launched in the fall to try and get things going, that was a vision. You had an idea. You had something going on and said, this is where we're going to go, and this is what it's going to look like. And you cast that vision. The problem is in most churches is the pastor stops casting that vision within just a few weeks after some initiative has been launched. That is killing churches. The reality is a lack of vision, not maintaining that vision, not keeping that vision in front of people. The church begins to grind down because they lose focus of what is most important, lose focus in the destination on that map. And pastor, ultimately, it's on you to keep that vision in front of people. And yet, let's be honest, all the squirrel things, shiny things get in the way, and it was, we're off to this, we're off to that, rather than staying focused on, this is the vision, this is the mission, this is the vision, this is where we're going, this is where we're trying to get to, and keeping that in front of it. The Nehemiah principle, look through the book of Nehemiah if you're not familiar with it. Nehemiah had to recast that vision by the end of the first month because they'd lost some momentum, they'd lost their vision. And so the Nehemiah principle is that vision is lost every 30 days, 26 days if you want to get technical. But listen, here's the deal. You want to make sure you're cast that vision. Every sermon should talk about where you're going. Every offering meditation should talk about where you're going. You ought to be weaving that into prayer, weaving in the announcements. About the time you're sick and tired of talking about the vision, your people are just starting to hear it. So number one, to maintain momentum, keep the vision fresh and in front of the folks. All right, that's a good start. That will help you maintain some of the momentum. But there's a second way, the second thing to do, and that is to recount the wins. That's point two. Wow, I just realized I have wonderful graphics to go with this. Recount the wins. That presuming, of course, you've got some momentum, then you have had some good stuff happen. Something has happened here, something has happened there, where good things have happened in the last couple of months. You had more visitors, you've had a baptism, you had people who have never been in church have shown up in church, etc. You've got some sort of wins to share. And folks, wins are critical. If you're not casting those wins, you're not letting people know about the wins, then it's really hard to maintain momentum. It's hard to maintain your vision. It's hard to be excited about where you're going if you don't see you're making progress. Every time I meet with my pastors, I got pastors in Growing Church Network that I meet with every single week. And the first question out of my mouth is, what wins are you celebrating? What went on good this week in your church? And here's the reality. There's something went on in your church. I had a pastor this last week who said, well, I don't know. I don't know that I have any wins except for, I guess, I've been there 21 years. It's like, dude, that's really a heck of a win. Share that to talk about, hey, I've been here 21 years and this is where we are now. And this is where we were when we started, et cetera, et cetera. Share a win. Keep those wins in front of people. Hey, we had 3 first-time visitors. Didn't have any visitors this week, but we had 3 last week, and we had 2 returned. Whatever the wins are, keep that coming to your congregation. Keep feeding those wins. It goes along with the vision because it says, hey, we're achieving something. We're moving forward in that vision. So recast the vision, recount the wins, and the last one is calendar the critical. Here's the reality. Pastors, we get caught up really easily and really often in the this and the that, the administration, the member care, the meetings, the never-ending meetings, the reports we have to write, the blog posts we need to write, the sermon we have to write, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We get caught up in all that stuff, all of which is, don't get me wrong, all that's good stuff. It has to happen, except for what often happens is all of that stuff displaces the important stuff. It displaces the mission critical, because there are things that you can be doing every week, Pastor, to grow your church. There are things that you can do. There's events that you can attend. There's people you need to meet. There's places you need to hang out. There's any number of things that you need to do and that you can do to gain that momentum, to build the church, to grow the church. And here's the deal is that if you don't calendar those in, then you'll get caught up in the mundane, what I call pastor fetch. You're doing this, you're doing administration, you're doing meetings, you're doing member care, you're doing all this stuff, all of which is distracting you from doing what's most important, which is doing those things that will grow your church. So calendar in those critical times. I tell pastors, if you don't have a lot of time in your calendar, schedule 30 minutes a week where you're going to get out of the office and do something intentional that will help to grow your church. Go out and meet some. Go to the Chamber of Commerce and have a conversation with the director and find out what they're doing, what networking they're doing, what events they're going on in the community that you can go hang out with, that you can meet people, you can talk about what's going on in your congregation. You can, again, share the vision and recount the wins of what's going on in your congregation that will make a difference in their lives and invite them to come be a part of the ride. So 3 ways to keep the momentum this year is recast your vision. Keep that in front of people. That's number 1. Number 2, recount those wins. Hey, this went on last week. We've been seeing this, these great things. We have more people showing up. We had this great potluck supper where we had first-time visitors show up, et cetera, et cetera. Recount the wins so people get some enthusiasm, because there's nothing worse than a depressed congregation who thinks, oh, we're too small. We can't do anything. Folks, your congregation is doing some great things. Let them know. Share the transformations that are happening, and then calendar the critical. Make sure you put into the calendar those things that will actually grow the church. Put them in as appointments so that you get it done. That's how you maintain momentum that you've gained, I hope, in the fall. Listen, I've never met a pastor who at least said that they didn't want to grow the church. Every pastor I've ever talked to talks about they want to make more disciples. They want to make a difference in their community. They want to get more people there. But either what they're doing isn't working, often the case, or they just don't know where to start. That's why we created the Growing Church QuickStart Track. It's a once a week 30-minute do this. It's a specific, we send you an email that says, hey, do this week, 30 minutes that will help you actually get some traction to grow your church. And of course, there's a bunch of additional supportive tools that you can get. And you can get there by hitting the quick start. There's a QR code there on the screen. You can take a photo of that, whatever, and move into check out the quick start. Try it for 14 days. If it doesn't work, hey, cancel. No harm, no foul. But what we're finding is people who sign up for this, they have specific things they can do this week to grow their church. 30 minutes. If you can invest 30 minutes a week, you can begin to grow your church. So click the Quick Start. If you're watching the recording of this, and of course, it's going to be in the description. We've got the link there that you can grab and be a part of it. I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate you watching this, and I'll be back later on this week to talk more about how to maintain momentum in the post-fall time, I guess, in post-autumn. I'm hoping you're enjoying autumn. I am. I'll talk to you and see you soon. Take care.